and more successful at the upcoming career fair. So we'll go ahead and get started. First, a little bit about Paycom. Couldn't get out here without giving the spiel. And also, this will give you some ideas to maybe why you can trust me. I've been in this position for about a year now, a little over a year, and I have gone to over 39 different career fairs. We do a lot of career fairs, and it's a lot of fun. I love meeting with students and getting to speak with you guys. And so I do have quite a bit of experience in this field. Some things about Paycom. We're a human capital management system. So what we do is we provide clients all across the nation with a software that allows them to streamline all of their HR products. So payroll, time and attendance, benefits administration, really everything that an HR department does, we help them to do it better. You mentioned that you have used Paycom, so you log in, maybe clock in, get paid through Paycom. That's what we do, and we just help make that process run smoother for clients all across the country. We have a little bit of a different narrative than some companies in Oklahoma right now. We're like profitable and financially stable. What? That's crazy. And so we're seeing a lot of success. We're actually growing at over 40% every single year, which when you think about it, it's kind of crazy. As a recruiting team, that's scary, but it's also exciting because we're gonna have a ton of different opportunities to welcome students onto our campus and really into the Paycom family. And then we talked about this too, but we're actually building adding a fourth building to our national corporate headquarters, which is here in Oklahoma City. And if you guys get the Daily Oklahoman, you might have seen that we were just voted the #1 workplace in the entire state of Oklahoma. That's pretty cool, right? So our staff members all came together and voted, and we were voted the #1 top workplace. This was true and honest feedback, and I take a lot of pride in that because we really love our company and love being a part of the Paycom family. Just so you can get an idea of a little bit of the scope of Paycom and what we do, our national headquarters is here, this little dark green dot, and all of the others are offices that we have all across the nation. So it's an Oklahoma company that's making a difference from coast to coast. We're changing the way that people do business and revolutionizing that, and that's a lot of fun to be a part of. So now what you're actually here for, we're going to talk about how to be successful at the career fair and how you can be prepared, ready, and really knock it out of the park whenever you go to meet with the different recruiters you're going to be speaking with. Some of the things we're going to talk about is understanding employer goals, learning what it's like on the other side of the table. And then we're going to learn about what to do before the career fair, how to do your research, how to prepare your resume, what to do at the career fair, and then what to do after the career fair so you can follow up and stay connected and really utilize that connection that you've made. Step 1 is understanding the employer goals. I remember my first career fair, you walk in, it's kind of scary. There's a bunch of people in suits staring at you and vying for your attention. And they all look so professional and a little scary, and you're intimidated. But one of the most important things to remember about recruiters is that we're humans. We're normal people, and we want to get to know you. If I'm signed up and attending a career fair, that means that I'm there to get hires. And I can't hire you if I don't get to know you and I don't meet you. Recruiters are there because we want to speak with you and we want to tell you about our opportunities. My goal is to get as many potential candidates as I can and because the more candidates I have, the more hires I'm going to get. I want to see if you are going to be a good fit for my position. This is the only time, aside from an interview, that I would get to meet you face to face, and that's an incredible opportunity for me to gauge whether or not you will be a good fit for my company, but it's also an incredible opportunity for you. At no other phase in the recruiting process before the interview with the hiring manager are you going to get a chance to really sit down and ask your questions to your recruiter. Meet with them face to face, understand what they're looking for in a candidate, and be able to apply yourself to that. And you get to make a really, really strong connection with someone at the company, which is a very, very, very important role in finding an opportunity. You guys might have heard, it's not what you know, it's who you know. This is the perfect opportunity to network and get to know more people who could potentially be a resource for you in the future. So you're there to meet a bunch of companies, right? We're all lining the walls and lining the aisles. Who do you talk to? How do you know who you want to meet with and which companies are important? The thing about it is you're looking for a job, but really you're looking for a company and then the jobs that that company has to provide. This list is from Forbes, and it's their top 10 factors to employee happiness. We're going to have, you can kind of read these yourself. I'm not going to read them all to you, but there's 10 different things here, and only one of them is about the actual job itself. All of the other 9 are about the environment, the company, and the people that you're working with. So it's so important to look at the company as a whole and not just look at a position. There are a ton of places that you can learn and really get a deeper understanding about some of the companies you're going to be meeting with. The Daily Oklahoman. I may have mentioned that we were #1 in the top workplaces, but there's 49 other people that didn't get first place, but that you can also look at. These are employee reviews, so you can get to learn true insight about the company from that list, and it's a list of places that people want to work, which is an exciting way to look at that opportunity. How many of you guys have heard of Glassdoor? Yeah, a couple? Perfect. Glassdoor is a really incredible tool that, from an employer side, is both incredibly enlightening and a little bit scary. Employees get to go on and put honest reviews on this website, and you get to look through the Glassdoor, get it? And get to see into that company and really get some inside information on them. You can look at interview reviews, the company reviews, and get to see what true employees think about that position and that company. It's a great resource. And then LinkedIn. How many guys are on LinkedIn? Perfect. Okay, I love that. LinkedIn has tons of opportunities listed and tons of company information that you can connect with. Find out which of your friends are working there, how many mutual connections you have, and do some digging on what companies you would like to work for, and then that will help target who you want to meet with at the career fair. I just think it's so interesting how much the company can impact your job happiness compared to the position. I feel like we all go into a career fair thinking, I want this job. This is the job that I want. This is the job title that I want. When really we need to be looking at what company do we want to work for and what kind of environment do we want to be in, because that will really lead to our true happiness on the job, at least according to this article. So before the fair, let's do some research, all right? Let's figure it out and really be prepared to go in next Wednesday and knock it out of the park. And so some of the things to do is your research. And there's a ton of different places that you can go to find this information. One is Hire Broncos, right? How many of you guys have been on Hire Broncos? I should see every hand in this room. Elizabeth's very disappointed that she didn't see more hands. Hire Broncos is UCO's service here that employers use to connect with students. It's a really, really incredible tool that I go to, and I have the majority of my jobs posted on there. That is an easy access to see what are people recruiting for. There's an entire list of all the employers that are going to be attending the career fair and the jobs that they're looking for. This is your go-to place, your hub of information. If you don't go to Hire Broncos before going to the career fair, you're doing yourself a really big disservice by not being trained and knowledgeable about what is there and what opportunities you have. You can search by different criteria. You can search by what you're qualified for, by different job titles, by different industries, and use that information to kind of form your path for that day and be prepared for what opportunities you have available. Another place is word of mouth. Find out where your friends have worked. Ask them about their experience. Where did your friends intern? Who have you seen around campus? Maybe who presented that one time for career services? I don't know. And take a look at those different opportunities and connect with them and get to learn about who you want to speak with and what information they have about those different companies that are going to be there. The company websites are huge. I have an entire page completely dedicated to telling you about an opportunity at Paycom. It's called paycomcareers.com. Couldn't be easier, right? Every company has these. There's sites that are built to show you and guide you about what it's like to have a career at this company. Once you have that company in mind, I really recommend that you look those up and use that information to decide if that's something you're interested in and to know what that company does. One of my biggest pet peeves, and a way to really kind of set yourself apart in a negative way, is to come up to my table and say, so what does Paycom do? You don't care. You don't care about my job. You knew I was going to be here, and you didn't do any research. That's the first thing that I think if you say that. But what if you came up to me and said, oh, Paycom, you're a human capital management system, right? I see you guys all over campus. That already to me is like, ding, 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 we've got a winner. This person's interested, they've done their research, and they're excited. And that's a really easy way to differentiate yourself right at the very beginning of the conversation. Another important thing to look at is the job postings. We mentioned these on Hire Broncos, but every job posting has a ton of information for you that's going to train you in that. If you come up to me and said, I'm interested in your talent media specialist position, I've noticed that it maybe had some different buzzwords in it. I noticed that you're looking for someone who has customer service experience and is excited about a new opportunity. Well, I've done customer service for the past 3 years in my part-time job, and I'm excited to pursue an opportunity at Paycom. I already know that's someone that I'm looking for. You're able to set yourself up for success by using my words and using the information that I've provided to set yourself up for success in that way and really shine as a full-time candidate with us. You also need to have a resume. How do you guys have a perfect resume? Perfect. You know who's here to help you? Career Services. Look at that. And so with that, your resume is your story. When you hand me a resume, that is the one thing that I get to keep with me. It's the one piece of paper that I'm going to use to gain information about you and take it back to my team to make a decision on if we want to hire you and if that's someone we want to bring in for an interview. And so make it as clear, concise, and accurate as possible. Some different things to include on a resume, and I include this one as a little bit of a disclaimer here. The objective statement on a resume. These are great if you're applying for a specific job with a specific company, and you say, I want to be a talent media specialist because this, and this. That is my goal. But when you take that to a career fair, and you print off a resume that says, I want to be a blah, blah, blah at the XYZ company, and I'm the ABC company, you don't want my job. You want XYZ's job, not mine. And so it's important that if you do have an objective statement on your resume, you go ahead and make it a little bit vague for the career fair to make sure that you're not discounting yourself before you hand that off to a recruiter. And the next biggest piece to have on there is your education. My biggest thing is if someone doesn't have a GPA on their resume, I automatically assume that it's below a 3.0. If it's above a 3.0, shout it out, brag about it, let me know. That's something that I've seen a lot that students don't necessarily understand. Maybe they got a 3.3 and they're a little unsure. They're not quite certain if they should put that on there. Brag about it. That's really exciting and important to have on there. You had a question?
Yes, ma'am. So will you be checking for GPA at this particular college?
We have a GPA minimum. It's below a 2.75, or so. We usually don't like to see. That's kind of where ours looks like. Do we check with the college? No, but not immediately. But we do check once we get closer to an offer process. So does that answer your question? Awesome. And then this is another big thing. Make sure to include your graduation date on your resume. I think students sometimes forget about that, but including a graduation date is the only way that I know when can I hire you. If you are a spring 2018 grad, okay, cool, you're looking for an internship. If you're a spring 2017, you don't want to get put in the internship pile when you're looking for a full-time opportunity. Does that make sense? So it's really, really, really important to include that graduation date on your resume, or expected graduation date. And then your experience. List your college jobs. Tell me what you've been working on. Tell me what you've been doing. I had someone tell me, oh, I'm not going to include that. It was just a part-time job. I love part-time jobs. Part-time jobs are huge. You know why? Because I know that you balance school and a part-time job and kept a good GPA, and maybe you're involved in an activity or two. That shows me time management, commitment, diligence. You'd be surprised what kind of inferences I can make about a resume. And so it's important to include the different activities that you've been involved in, whether that's part-time, full-time, whatever that looks like. Make sure to include that on your resume so that you can be prepared moving forward. And then activities. Be a participant, not just a member. Pursuing leadership roles, being involved, taking on different tasks, working on different projects. That goes so much further than just adding member of the ABC Club at the bottom of your resume. I love seeing people that have stepped into leadership. It's actually one of our company values, and we take leadership really seriously. And so seeing leadership opportunities that you've pursued in college just tells me that that is something you'd want to carry over into your professional life as well. So now we're going to be at the fair, okay? You're a little nervous, right? Your hands are getting a little sweaty. But what are you going to do once you walk in those doors to be prepared and to set yourself up for success? At the fair, it's all about your professional brand. This is different than just handing me a resume. I get to know you, and I get to look at you as a candidate and really get the full picture of what you as an individual have to offer as a candidate with my company. So there's so many different things that impact your brand. You've got your attitude. If someone comes up to me downtrodden and sad and like, hey, just looking for a job, what do you got? That's not someone I'm interested in, right? That's not something you want to see. But if someone comes up and is positive and excited and enthusiastic about meeting with me, then I know that they're enthusiastic about a career with my company too. Your look says a lot about you. That's something that you get to control and that you have an impact in. The way that you present yourself, the air of confidence that you use, the passion that you're showing, as well as your energy. That's something that you have complete control over. This is a little bit of a fake it till you make it kind of thing, right? The first one's going to be really scary. You're going to walk up and maybe not be entirely sure what to say or question whether your handshake is strong enough. But once you get through that first booth, you're really able to kind of take on that role and really be a young professional. That's what I'm looking for. I'm not looking to hire a college student. I'm looking to hire a young professional. And so that's the image that you need to portray, and the attitude that you need to give is that you are a young professional and you're ready for a serious career at my company. And that'll really set yourself apart. Some ways that you can do that is by suiting up. You guys are about a week away, so you've got some time. But I really, really recommend that you wear a suit and professional clothing to a career fair. It sets it apart, right? I mean, if I walked up here and I wish that I could wear like leggings and an extra large t-shirt every day, but I can't. But imagine if I was up here dressed like that right now. Would you have the same level of respect for me? Not exactly. So you want to set yourself up to have that extremely high level of respect. If I respect you, then I respect you as a candidate, and that's important to portray. And so I really recommend a suit. A couple things about that. Guys, I'm obviously not the 100% expert here, but I had one of my guy friends at the office help me make this slide, so this is pretty accurate. Wear a tie. I don't know what that's like, but I don't think it's fun, like wearing something like choking you all day long. But you only got to wear it for like maybe 3 hours if you stay the full time. And it shouldn't even take you that long to get through all the booths. So go ahead and tie one on, at least when you're coming to the career fair. I don't care if you stuff it in your pocket the minute you walk out the door. But while you're in there, go ahead and wear a tie. It just sets you apart, right? You kind of feel better, I'm sure, like putting on your tie and looking in the mirror like, yeah, I look good today. That's the attitude you need to have and that confidence that you need to have as well. Don't wear jeans if you can. Try and wear the full matching suit. My guy friend suggested black, blue, gray, simple colors. I did see some guy walk in with a purple suit one time. While it looked awesome, I wouldn't necessarily suggest that for a career fair. Try and stick with simple colors that really give you a level of professionalism as far as your undershirt and things like that. Don't get too crazy, but feel free to show a little bit of personality. We're not trying to hire robots either, so go ahead and find that kind of healthy balance. And then make sure that you bring several copies of your resume and a writing utensil. Let's be real, every booth is going to be handing out pens. I'll have pens. If you need one, come find me. But I do recommend that you keep a writing utensil as well as resumes. And take notes if you like what we're talking about, or maybe you're going to write a note on the back of a business card. Make sure and follow up or call next Tuesday. Having a pen and having those resumes is a huge piece of this. Does that kind of make sense, guys? Obviously, I'm not the pro, but hopefully maybe someone in career services or you have a guy in your life that can help you with that. I'm not that person, but ladies, I've got a little more experience in this. Ours is also longer because guys get it easier, and I feel like our dress codes are always longer if you look at the lists. So for us, go ahead and wear that suit. A blazer and a dress or a skirt. I like my pantsuits. I like them. I do. Don't judge me for that. I just feel a little more powerful, and I always feel like I'm going to like trip and fall in a skirt, but that's just me. Whatever you're comfortable with, wear that blazer and suit up and let yourself, give yourself an air of that professionalism. Again, no jeans, simple colors, black, blue, gray, or maintain a little bit of neutrality there. Modesty is the best policy. I've seen skirts that are too short. I've seen tops that are too low. And a little bit of judgment does get passed on that. It's important to just maintain that modest appearance and not let yourself get discounted for something that you don't need to be discounted for. So modesty, always the best policy. And then for us to bring a resume and a writing utensil. And then this isn't on here, but I feel like it deserves to be said. I do not wear heels to career fairs. I feel like I know that my feet are going to start hurting. I'm going to start walking funny. I'm going to be like switching from like foot to foot because unless you are good at walking in heels, I don't recommend breaking in a new pair at the career fair. Honestly, they'll help you a little bit, I guess, maybe. I've just seen it hurt. If you're walking funny or tripping or falling over, if you're sad because your feet hurt, that's just a detractor from your professionalism. If you can pull it off, go for it. I'm not one of those people, so I wear flats. I'm wearing flats right now. I prefer them, but that's a personal preference that I just think that all of us ladies should take into consideration about wearing heels. Or guys, if you're feeling it, wear heels. Conversation. This is the scary part, right? What do you say? When you walk up to somebody, what is that conversation going to look like? And how are you going to even start it? You're nervous. You have no idea what to say. And so my recommendation, you've got a week. Memorize what I've heard, what a lot of us call a 30-second me speech. How many of you guys have been maybe in an interview and been asked, oh, so tell me a little bit about yourself, right? And you just kind of go, I don't, my favorite color is yellow, I have a brother and a sister. That's not what I want to know, you know what I mean? And so it's important to have almost a speech prepared. It's an easy way to walk up to somebody and say, hi, my name is, and then dive into your 30-second me speech. These can be a wide range of topics. Tell me about your degree. Tell me about what's important to you, your skills and experience. If you know that I have an account management job open, and you say, hi, my name is John Smith, and I am so excited to speak with you today. I noticed that you have an opportunity in account management, and my customer service skills that I've exhibited in my past 3 jobs here on campus I think would really be a great opportunity for me to start that with your company, and I'm excited to talk with you about that further. Dang, they've got their stuff together, right? That's something that you can be prepared with and start that conversation and really take that control into your own hands. The biggest thing that we're afraid of is the unknown, right? What are they going to ask me? What are they going to say? So just take it into your own hands. Start that conversation and guide it where you want to go so that you can get your point across and understand what you want, and they can understand what you want to know about them. And that confidence is key, and a big one is show me that you've done your research, that you're prepared, and that you're interested. So go ahead and take some time over the next couple days and memorize that. A 30-second me speech. Grab your timer on your phone and just keep talking for 30 seconds. I'm pretty sure that I probably still have on my phone my 30-second me speech that I had to do it in class. And I have used that at every job and every interview since then. Some tweaks, obviously, as my professionalism has grown, but it's so crucial and so easy to just have on hand to answer that question. You remember how I said a little bit ago that we're humans too? I just want to talk to you. I don't want to stand there and get a bunch of questions pounded at me, or just walk up and start demanding answers from me. Say hi. Say hello. Ask me how my day's going. Chances are somebody's, I'm tired. It's been a long day. I think this one's only about 3.5 hours. I've been at a 7-hour career fair before. That's the worst. So just be nice. Say hi, introduce yourself, show me that you've done your research, and then have a normal conversation with me. I'm a human. I like to think that I'm pretty approachable, right? I tell this to pretty much every time I give this presentation. If you guys are nervous and you want to get that first interviewer out of the way, just come talk to the Paycom table, right? I'm going to be there. I promise I'm a friendly face. and I'm not going to yell at you or demand answers from you. I just want to have a conversation. So come talk to me, come stop by our table if you need to get that first one out of the way. But I really think that by memorizing this quick 30-second me speech, you'll set yourself up for success that whole day and for the interviews, hopefully, that are to follow. And then after the fair, you've met a ton of people, you've given out every copy of your resume, you have a ton of business cards in your hand. What do you do now? How do you go from meeting someone and making an introduction to actually getting a job interview, right? That's the goal. The goal is to get hired. And so we're going to talk through about how to do that. Do you have a question?
So do you send a thank you card? I'm sorry, I'm skipping ahead.
You're fine.
Do you send a thank you card after you meet them or after the interview, or both?
Yeah, well, on the next slide, we'll talk about follow-up. That was a great question. He asked about sending a thank you note. And that is one of my favorite things. I actually keep every thank you note I've ever gotten. And it's fun to look back at people that I've hired and that are getting promoted. And it's like, oh, hey, I helped them get hired. And so we love to build a relationship with you. And that is one of the great ways to do that is by sending a thank you card. So make sure that you follow up after the career fair. You've handed me your resume, but I also got a lot of resumes. And I don't really know if you are 100% interested. And so one way to, again, take that back into your own hands is to send a follow-up email or a thank you note, whatever it may be. The biggest thing is to ask for a business card. I'm going to have them. I've got some in my pocket right now. I actually put on a jacket I hadn't worn since last season, still had business cards in them. I'm overflowing with business cards because I want to give them to you, and I want to connect with you, and I want you to be able to connect with me and to have my information. And so ask for a business card, and then send either a thank you email or a handwritten note. For a career fair, I recommend an email. Reattach your resume. Go ahead and make sure that I get to see that again. I don't want it to get lost in the crowd. If you're taking the time to reach out to me, I'm going to make sure that that resume gets the attention that it deserves. So send me a follow-up email, attach your resume, and then tell me something that's unique about you. I loved talking with you about Paycom's $4 lunches. I loved talking to you about how the on-site fitness center and the yoga classes. Something that we talked about or a unique experience that sets you apart that can kind of jog my memory a little bit. We're going to meet a lot of different students that day, and so anything that you can do to set yourself apart is going to be a huge factor in that. As far as the thank you email, you're right. I do recommend the handwritten note, maybe more towards after the interview, when we've had a chance to really connect and meet face-to-face, because I like to get the email with the attached resume. It shows a little bit more of extra effort, and you can get there faster to make sure that we're staying connected with you. For the handwritten note, after you get an interview, that's huge. For you to take the time and write a note, I know that you're interested, and I know that you're wanting to connect. And then ask for the next steps. Don't leave a table or leave a booth at the career fair without asking next steps or including that in the follow-up email. One of the best that I'd ever gotten, it had their resume attached, it introduced themselves, it told me a unique experience that we talked about. It was kind of a funny thing that we had in common. And then she said, so what can I expect next? What do you need from me moving forward? What are the next steps in the interview process? Because they're interested and they want to move forward and they want to move forward quickly. And that really set her apart. And fun fact, she got hired. So I really, really recommend that you follow up and stay connected. A business card has a ton of information. If you look at this, it's got my name, my email address, my office phone number, the address for where I work at, so you can at least have the address of the company. But then it's also got a website. And that, again, is really important in doing your research and can help you be more prepared for an interview by just getting the information on a business card. Through this, you get to build a relationship with a recruiter. This is one of the only times in all of your experience in the job search that you get to meet a recruiter face-to-face before the interview process. And that is so important because when you build a relationship, I'm going to fight for you. If I schedule an interview and a manager comes back and is like, hey, so-and-so from that school was, I'm not really feeling it. Let's go ahead and say no to that one. I'm going to ask them why. If I really like you and you've built a relationship with me, I'm going to be your advocate on the inside. And I'm going to say, whoa, 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 whoa. Tell me why. What did you not like about them? And I'm going to talk them through that and honestly see if they can change their mind. There are people that have been told no at Paycom, or any other company for that matter, that whenever you have an inside friend, essentially, that recruiter will fight for you and will really build that relationship moving forward. And I value that, and I think that's important to getting hired. Again, it's not what you know, it's who you know. And that's a really crucial piece to that. On that same kind of note, this is a quote from the CEO of Amazon. And it says, "Your brand is what people say about you when you're not in the room." I promise you we're going to talk about you. I'm going to talk about either how short your skirt was, or how bad of an attitude you had, or how unprepared you were, or I'm going to talk about how professional you looked, how confident you were, and how interested you were in my opportunity. And you have control over what that conversation is going to look like. The way that you present yourself, the conversations that we have, you are in control of that. But I promise you we're going to talk about you, so make sure that at this career fair, you set yourself up for success by making sure that's a positive conversation instead of a negative one, because it'll help you, hopefully, get a job. And so that's all that I have for you guys. I do have my information here if you want some more details or some more information. And I'm going to hang out here up front if you guys want to talk to me or get any more questions. But if you guys have any questions, I know that I went a little over time, I think. But thank you guys so much for being here today. If you guys have any questions, fire away. Lots of questions. I love it. I saw your hand first.